What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another very exciting episode right here on the My Gardener channel. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you something incredible. It's a simple crop that you can be growing, that you can grow every single year, but it's not a perennial. And it's a crop that's incredibly expensive in the grocery store, but is super easy to grow. What is that crop? Well, I'll tell you. So what is this absolutely amazing, magical, mystical plant that I speak of? Well, green onions. Check it out. So, about 5 years ago, we started this patch of green onions. And how we got it to right now, without ever having to buy new seed, was just based on the magic of the green onion. Green onions, you see, are biennial. That means they flower the second year. And after they flower, they die. But when they flower, they drop seed. They will grow the first year, winter will come, and they'll go dormant. The second year, they'll come out of dormancy, they will flower. When they flower, they drop seed, and then they die. And the incredible thing about green onions is the fact that that gives you the perpetual harvest. That allows you to only plant once. And as long as you save enough plants to go to seed, they will provide year after year after year more green onions than you could possibly imagine, or you could possibly eat. You'll be giving them away to friends and family. And it's something that's so incredible because you go to the grocery store and a bunch of dirt flew in my eye. A bunch of 5 green onions cost about $2. It's absolutely incredible. And so it allows you to grow hundreds of dollars of green onions and never have to really put a whole lot of work in, never have to buy new seed. It just does it itself. You just got to take the right steps. So I'm going to show you those right steps because, believe it or not, the entire lifespan is being shown in this bed here. We have plants that are 2 years old. We have plants that are 3 years old. We have plants that are 1 year old. And then those 1 year plants are going to grow for next year's plants. And so it's an incredible life cycle. And it's one that I really wanted to share with you guys because I can't tell you how nice it is to come out here and pick an unlimited amount of green onions and never have to worry about ever planting them ever again. So like I said, this onion patch here is about 5 years old. And we have 3-year-old plants, we have 2-year-old plants, we have 1-year-old plants. The 3-year-old plants were the offspring from the first plants we started. Those plants flowered last year. They're gonna die this year. After they flowered, they gave way to ones that sprouted in the fall of last year, and this is their first year growing. They will flower next year. After they flower next year, they will die, but they will also drop seed. The ones that flowered this year gave birth to these little guys. All of these little sprouts are brand new plants that are going to grow for the first year next year. This is not their first full year. This is kind of their starting year. Next year is their first full year. By the end of next year, these little plants will look like these plants. These plants will have gotten much bigger and look like these plants. These will flower next year. These will be dead. These ones will flower. The flowers will drop seeds that will look like these. Then in the spring, these will grow and look like these. And then the whole thing will happen all over again. They'll sprout, they'll flower, they'll go dormant, they'll drop seed, the seeds will sprout. The next year, the plants will die, the new seeds will sprout, and it just happens every single year. Look at this. This one still has a seed pod just sprouted. It's brand new. And so that is the life cycle of the green onion, and it's incredible because it allows you to grow hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of plants. I mean, look at this. Look at this. These are ones that are growing right in our walkway with nothing being done. We're not watering this, we're not fertilizing this, nothing. It's just growing at its own free will. It's incredible. And this allows us to have tons of free food without doing absolutely anything. There is a couple tips though to getting more out of your harvest. The first thing you can do is fertilize often. Onions love fertilizer. In fact, they love nitrogen because they're actually mostly leaves. Despite the fact that onions don't have leaves like a tomato does or any other regular plant, those modified leaves are still leaves. And in order to create more leaves and healthier onions, it requires nitrogen. So feed them with a nice nitrogen-rich fertilizer, and they're really going to appreciate it. The second thing you can do is you can actually come in and kind of thin them out. I'll show you what I'm talking about, because when onions sprout from seed, the seeds just basically drop straight down. And there are so many growing that sometimes they can kind of crowd themselves out. So what we'll do is when they start to sprout, we'll kind of come in and manually thin them out to kind of prevent some stress and crowding, so that yes, the fittest will survive, but they have a better chance of surviving and growing to their full potential. So like I said, all these crops, these ones are 3 years old. These are gonna die this year. We're gonna take these in before they die and actually eat them so they don't go to waste. But we've thinned these out to about 1.5 inches, 2 inches apart. And though they've grown out and filled out, those ones were spaced out accordingly. The new ones that are going to flower next year are pretty far and few, they're far and few between. See, there's one there, one there, one there, one there. They're spaced out about every 3 to 5 inches apart. And that's going to give us the ability to really let them grow and fill out. The ones that are just sprouting right now, as you can see, there are hundreds of them. And so we're going to come in here and we're going to kind of just select out, pull out, leave a few here, leave a few there, come in here, there's one there, we'll come in here and thin some of these out, because we don't want them all to germinate. I mean, look how many are right here. Look at that. You can't have all of those germinating. We'll pick out, 2 or 3 little bunches of them and let the rest grow. So there's one, there's one, there's one, there's a couple, there's a few more here. We'll pull these out because there's even more over here. And so thinning them out really allows you to kind of maximize your crop, because they can't all grow. They'll be too crowded. And the third and final thing that we do is we want to come in and weed regularly. That's because onions don't have big leaves to defend themselves. They don't create very much shade. And so if you have something like a dandelion come in and grow in between your onions, it's going to really outcompete the onions. And so if that weed comes in and is out competing your onions, that means there's just less nutrients for that onion to grow to its full potential. And so by weeding them out regularly, it's going to make sure that you have the healthiest crops possible to grow, feed yourself, and then drop seed for next year's crop. So just a few tips to growing onions, but they're super simple to grow, and they do provide so much free food that it's one that I really hope that you add to your garden. So as always, this is Luke from the My Gardener channel, reminding you to grow big or go home. We'll catch you guys later. See ya.